You can travel the world to find yourself. But that journey must start at home.
Valley are going to end war!
Because you can't know who you are without remembering your past experiences.
Basic is returning to Asia for his redemption. The BTK trio wants to prove M3 wasn't just a fluke, and Hoon looking to win back his fans.
I got basically kicked, but they still call me traitor for, I don't know, for pursuing my dream.
I thought living that comfort zone and then try new things was a better way for me to pursue the win.
We're coming and we're gonna compete. We're gonna put a fight, that's for sure. I'm coming for you, M4.
This is what we have all been waiting for.
You push us, we push you back. You respect us, we respect you back. You doubt us, we will bleed to prove you wrong.
Everything on the line, right here, right now.
Definitely, they're not underestimating us as much as they did in M3. People probably see us and take us more seriously now, especially considering our accomplishment back then.
I want to be the first in the world. I want to win a world championship. And the only way to really do that is day in and day out. There's no relaxing. You have to keep going.
Here comes the Valley.
It's my time, I'm a ball. I'ma get this money right. I'm gonna live my best life. They been talking to me on me. You know they'll never win. I'm controlling all my victories. And something that's gotta give. Cause it's just what I made it now. I made it now. You can't ever break us down. Break us down. All these bitches for the stars. Call me show me what they not. And I'll never ever stop. Won't never stop. Yeah.
Touch your sky. You're a man of saving good. Touch your sky. You're the greatest option now. You and I can make it out of the crowd. Hang tight, we gonna reach for the greatness. We will always rise, we will never fall.
The sky is so vast, isn't it? My little flare.
Papa? Can you reach the sky and ignite the stars?
Of course, honey bunch.
Papa never returned home. He's among the stars now. But what about me?
Have faith, little flare.
Now this is a wonder to behold.
Time. Oh, it's time to make the most of the moment. I'm Hoon, I'm milling for the valley, and I'm ready.
I graduated high school a few months ago. Yeah. We dare to be great. Hello, my name is Fly Chicken. I'm XP Lane from the Valley. Let's go.
Hey, it's basic. Again. We dare. We dare to improve. Hey, it's basic. Coordinator for the Valley. Let's go.
Say hi.
3 wasn't good enough.
There you go. One more time.
3 wasn't good enough.
One more time. You got a better one.
Hi, I'm Chuck. I'm late son for the Valley. Let's go.
You see my chapped lips on the camera? Like here a little bit? Don't disrespect the US of A. One more. Hi, I'm Moba Zane, Jungle for the Valley, and we're ready.
I want to fight Yahweh from the Eagle team for Philippines.
Definitely RRQ. They've done so much for Mobile Legends, and you could tell just by the amount of fans that they have. They've also been so driven. I mean, they've been in Mobile Legends for years and years and years, and they've always been pretty good. They've always, even when they weren't doing as well, even in this MPL, they bounced back in the second half of the season. And I have a lot of respect for them. They brought a lot for Mobile Legends. And in the Philippines, it probably blacklist because they're actually the first team that, even after winning a World Cup, they just stayed driven, stayed focused, and now they're on their way to having a chance of getting their second World Cup win.
You can travel the world to find yourself. But that journey must start at home.
Valley are going to end war!
Because you can't know who you are without remembering your past experiences.
Basic is returning to Asia for his redemption. The BTK trio wants to prove M3 wasn't just a fluke, and Hoon looking to win back his fans.
I got basically kicked, but they still call me traitor for, I don't know, for pursuing my dream.
I thought living that comfort zone and then try new things was a better way for me to pursue the win.
We're coming and we're gonna compete. We're gonna put a fight, that's for sure. I'm coming for you, M4.
This is what we have all been waiting for.
You push us, we push you back. You respect us, we respect you back. You doubt us, we will bleed to prove you wrong.
Everything on the line, right here, right now.
Definitely, they're not underestimating us as much as they did in M3. People probably see us and take us more seriously now, especially considering our accomplishment back then.
I want to be the first in the world. I want to win a world championship. And the only way to really do that is day in and day out. There's no relaxing. You have to keep going.
Here comes the valley.
It's my time, I'm a ball. I'ma get this money right. I'm gonna live my best life. They been talking to me on me. You know they'll never win. I'm controlling all my victories. And something that's gotta give. Cause this shit just what I made it now. I made it now. You can't ever break us down. Break us down. I'll be reaching for the stars. Promise I'll be what they not. And I'll never ever stop. Won't never stop. Yeah.
Touch the sky, you're made of silver and gold. Touch the sky, you're the greatest option now. You and I, we can make it out of the cold. Hang tight, we gonna reach for the greatness. We will always rise, we will never fall. We fight in our eyes, and we are strong. Even though we know our backs against the wall. And again, you take your aim, you know that this is.
I've been down, been waiting so long. I'm here for the crown, I'm here to show off. Greatness time, just waiting to show y'all. This is your time to remember. So many times, I lie in the basement waiting for greatness. No, I won't listen to anyone hating on me and telling me I wouldn't make it. Cause I did everything that they said I couldn't. Caught my footing and I got the controls. I stand for something, I ain't running now. I'm the greatest now, I just wanna make it proud. Don't let me down, don't let it all. I've been on the road, accomplished all of my goals, and I ain't gonna let you down.
Touch the sky, you're made of silver and gold. Touch the sky, you're the greatest option now. You and I, we can make it out of the cold. Hang tight, we gonna reach for the greatness. We will always rise, we will never fall. We fight in our eyes, and we are strong. Even though we know our backs against the wall. And again, pick your aim, you know that this is.
Coming for the game, cause we ready for the victory.
So turn it up, turn it up, turn it up, oh yeah.
All you get your hands up, all you raise your hands up. Listen to what you feel and say. We gon' turn it up tonight. We gon' turn it up. We gon' turn it up.
The sky is so vast, isn't it? my little flare.
Papa? Can you reach the sky and ignite the stars?
Of course, Honey Bunch.
Papa never returned home. He's among the stars now. But what about me?
Have faith, little flare.
Now this is a wonder to behold.
Time. Oh, it's time to make the most of the moment. I'm Hoon, I'm mid-lane for the Valley, and I'm ready.
I graduated high school a few months ago.
Let's go.
Yeah. We dare to be great.
Dude, that's perfect. One more second.
Hello, my name is Fly Chicken. I'm XP lane from the Valley. Let's go.
Hey, it's basic. Again.
Alright, I like that.
We dare.
And action.
We dare to improve. Hey, it's basic. Coordinator for the Valley. Let's go.
Say hi. Hi.
3 wasn't good enough.
There you go. One more time.
3 wasn't good enough.
One more time. You got a better one again.
Hi, I'm Chuck. I'm Legend for the Valley. Let's go.
You see my chapped lips on the camera? Like here a little bit? Don't disrespect the US of A. One more. Hi, I'm Moba Zane, Jungle for the Valley, and we're ready.
I want to fight Yahweh from the Eagle team for Philippines.
Definitely RRQ. They've done so much for Mobile Legends, and you could tell just by the amount of fans that they have. They've also been so driven. I mean, they've been in Mobile Legends for years and years and years, and they've always been pretty good. They've always, even when they weren't doing as well, even in this MPL, they bounced back in the second half of the season. And I have a lot of respect for them. They brought a lot for Mobile Legends. And in the Philippines, it probably blacklist because they're actually the first team that, even after winning a World Cup, they just stayed driven, stayed focused, and now they're on their way to having a chance of getting their second World Cup win.
You can travel the world to find yourself. But that journey must start at home.
Valley are going to end war!
Because you can't know who you are without remembering your past experiences.
Basic is returning to Asia for his redemption. The BTK trio wants to prove M3 wasn't just a fluke, and Hoon looking to win back his fans.
I got basically kicked But they still call me traitor for, I don't know, for pursuing my dream.
I thought living that comfort zone and then try new things was a better way for me to pursue the win.
We're coming and we're gonna compete. We're gonna put a fight, that's for sure. I'm coming for you, M4.
This is what we have all been waiting for.
You push us, we push you back. You respect us, we respect you back. You doubt us, we will bleed to prove you wrong.
Everything on the line right here, right now.
Definitely, they're not underestimating us as much as they did in M3. People probably see us and take us more seriously now, especially considering our accomplishment back then.
I want to be the first in the world. I want to win a world championship. And the only way to really do that is day in and day out. There's no relaxing. You have to keep going.
Here comes the valley.
It's my time, I'm a ball. I'ma get this money right. I'm gonna live my best life. They been talking to me on me. You know they'll never win. I'm controlling all my victories. And something that's gotta give. Cause it's just what I made it now. I made it now. You can't ever break it.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome into the land of the dawn. We are the Mobile Legends Scrim Academy, and it is finally week 6. Day 3. We got M4 happening currently. Group stage finally ending with a closer and a lot of surprises with some of these low-key teams kind of sneaking up there on some of these more veteran teams. But speaking of veteran teams, we are the Mobile Legends Scrim Academy, and super excited to say teams are going to be competing today in King of the Hill. What is that exactly? Well, let's jump into the rules. Super simple. First come, first serve. Best of 1. Winning team stays on every Monday and Wednesday from 8 p.m. Eastern time. And the first match of the day, we are looking at Nefarious going up against D-Gods. Nefarious, one of those teams that broke the record first for King of the Hill with more than 4 wins in a row. D-Gods, the team from the Wild West, also formerly known as the Demigods. They are up for the challenge, and the question is which one of these teams will take the crown and lead the way up that ladder for King of the Hill. I'm also joined today by Coach Deku, who will be the analyst today, kind of handling these item breakdowns and winning conditions. Also, I'll be on the play-by-play to go through these engagements. How you doing today, Deku?
Oh man, I'm doing great, and we've been on a little bit of a break right over at the MLSA, so it feels good to get back in the groove, get back into the land of the dawn on our own after just watching the World Series going on, which has been spectacular, by the way. So I'm also hoping to see some great gameplay from these teams out here in the MLSA tonight.
Yeah, super excited to see what these teams kind of do going forward. Speaking of going forward, jumping straight into the draft, you are looking at Nefarious versus D-Gods. You do see Nefarious taking out that Joy, one of those fast junglers that has a hard time for teams to deal with, especially when it comes to setting. You're looking at that carry, that late game marksman who's been wreaking havoc in the land of the dawn with those speedy light wheels taken down as well. And then to top it off, the third band to finish off the first phase for the side of Nefarious, taking out that Martis, that decimation, the mortar coils, the anti-CC. Too much to handle, and a very wise decision by the side of Nefarious.
Absolutely, and a great wise decision as well from them coming in that first pick. They do secure the glue, right? And we've seen him rising a lot, not only here in North America, but even across seas. And he's actually become a pick or ban, more or less, over in the world tournament setting right now. And we kind of hinted at that, and we spoke on that, I think, on the last stream we had about the buffs and all that glue had, and kind of leading to where he is now. And I feel like from the side of D-Gods might have been a little bit of a misplay, right? Banning out, things like the Xavier first and the Faramus. Fanny's kind of a safe ban. I feel like you can let the rest walk and potentially get that glue off the board. Very strong pick, and almost too much to just let through for free.
Yeah, Glue's been making a crazy appearance over there for North America. Even on the C server, we've seen it a bit. And that split flips, a lot to deal with, that mobility, the sustainability as well, all that region that Glue has to offer. But you are looking at another kind of common pick for the XP lane, sometimes flexed in the jungle or even a roam. Retex picking up that Fredrin. You know how well it kind of operates over there with that energy eruption, that taunt, to be able to kind of stop heroes from engaging and using their skills for a short amount of time. Norbert, definitely an expert mage, a wizard, if I may say so myself, picking up that Kagura, you know, that yin yang overturn to be able to rush in that burst potential and get a solo pick off. Also topping it off with that execute. Now, one thing we got to talk about though is we see a little bit of a highlight over that Wanwan. And what are we gonna call this? Or not Wanwan, Hanabi. What are we gonna call that name right there? What would you call that, Deku? Where are we going
man.
for this one?
I don't know, man. Might go off the way it sounds or it looks, man. A walk. I don't know. So it looks like something a Pac-Man
let's call him Waka
character
Flocka.
would be saying. Waka Waka.
Waka Waka.
Oh man, that'll be a good name there. But speaking of names, man, we got to put a name to some of these characters over from the side of Nefarious. They're stacking up the utility, right? They already have the split from Glue. They also have the Valentina with the IMU. We know how important and strong that ability can be used up against compositions that bring in utility for the Valentina to steal. And they also as well have the Divine Judgment coming out from this Kaja, right? So there's a lot of utility front loaded into those first 3 picks from the side of Nefarious. We would like to see the damage being stacked in maybe a little more. Right now, currently, it's kind of just Valentina. But you'd like to see a little more, especially in that marksman and maybe potentially in that, maybe something, I don't know, maybe a set. Their composition is actually pretty nice already. They could flex that roam position a lot, right? They already have some of the frontline capabilities with that utility. It's not really much you need, maybe unless you just want to go for some hard CC. They definitely need a marksman that can like kind of hyper carry. Right now, there's not too much damage coming in from the side of Nefarious.
Yeah, but one thing they have in their favor is that Valentina. But I don't know. I feel like Valentina hasn't been prioritized as much lately with the draft. So I'm wondering how well it's going to play into the hands of Eunice. For those who don't know, a little bit of a background story. A caster over there handling business in the Land of the Dawn as the new team captain for Nefarious. But like you said, with that Valentina, that IMU, we're wondering whose ultimate she's going to use at her disposal. Right now, you don't really have the best selection. Yeah, you have the Detna's Welcome over there from the Barats, maybe the Yin Yang Overturn, maybe an Appraiser's Wrath, but I would really say those are strong picks. Maybe a little bit of CC from Bombshell might be what she needs, but looking at the opposite side of the board across the river in the Land of the Dawn, you know, the side of D-Gods, who do they pick up? They have to be careful on what they choose as they don't want to land some easy ultimates into Eunice's disposal. So definitely having to be a little wise to kind of close out this draft. Disappointing Retri. Picking up that Kaja. I've kind of been a fan at that for a long time. I feel like it works really well in the XP lane, but when you pick up a Izumi on that Glue, we know Izumi, first of all, one of the top XP lanes in the Mobile Legends Scrim Academy. So you already know that Glue is going to be deadly, and we need to see some answers from the side of Retex over there for D-Gods. Disappointing Retri on this Kaja, right? We know one thing. It is definitely going to be the jungle, if not flexed into the roam position. Is it the wisest decision, though? It works. I mean, he can get a solo pick off over there on Waka Waka, on that Iridel, trying to go for that marksman, especially since he will be jungling. He'll have the opportunity to kind of choose which lane he wants to go to create that opportunity with that Divine Judgment. But speaking of opportunity, maybe another hero kind of rush in and focus this. We did see a little bit of a hoverage over Cho, but no, looks like Big Zeus hovering over the Dairoth, and I'm kind of wondering, it does get slotted in.
It does get slotted in, and I'm also curious about the marksman, and they're going to go ahead and lock in the Bruno. Interestingly enough, right, 5 marksman bands out there. The Leslie, Beatrix, Clint, Wanwan, and Carrie were all taken off the board. I was expecting to see a Claude. Both teams did hover over the pick, but neither one locked in. We're going to see a little deeper into the marksman pool, as it will be a faded Bruno versus Irithel matchup in that gold lane. It'll be very interesting to see in between these two teams, right, to see how they kind of build around and play with these two marksmen slotted. They're not the most common picks in the gold lane. Those common picks already being taken off the map by the dozens there in between these two teams. But interestingly enough, like you said, the Dairoth pick, right? An interesting pick, especially because we haven't seen much of him, right? Especially in this season, in these recent tournaments and worlds. We've had the pleasure of casting over in the Philippines. We didn't see it there at all. And not really much so in North America either. It's actually one of the first times we've seen it in the MLSA even. Used to be a very menacing pick in the XP, but as the meta has shifted, as the attention has went to different picks in the XP lane, we have not seen much of it. But tonight, we're going to see it matched up against this Fredrin. It'll be interesting to see that matchup only because while Dara does have the burst, he's susceptible, right, to being caught in CC chains to kind of break his combos. We do know he's a combo champ, likes to get those skills in rapid succession. But when you're facing up against Fredrin, someone I like to call the walking petrify, it's going to be very hard to layer in that damage uninterrupted.
Yeah, and kind of looking at the Dyrroth, like you said, we don't really see it traditionally pulled out a lot in the MLSA or in future tournaments that are not future but past tournaments. But one thing I will say is it actually was pulled up over against the Valley recently when they did go that triple composition tank meta. They weren't able to pull it off, and I feel like the Dyrroth was one of those key factors to be able to kind of negate their armor, and maybe that's the plan right now inside of Izumi. And you do have that Fredrin who's pretty beefy. You have that Barat, the king of beefiness when it comes to the jungle. And maybe that's a direct plan over there for Bombshell and Retex. But we are jumping into the Land of the Dawn. And ladies and gentlemen, the rules are simple. This is King of the Hill, best of one. So both teams have a lot on the line. They want to remain in here as the winning team continues to climb up this ladder and face a big utility of teams going forward. But speaking of utility, already in the bottom lane, you are seeing Warrior protect Waka Waka. They know the flaming soccer ball is a lot to deal with, and if anybody knows, we definitely know with that Wolf Ronaldo, maybe in prime effect, maybe the North American version on the rise.
Absolutely, and I'm glad you harped a little bit on the Angela, the utility, right? You spoke on Bombshell a little bit, but something to add in right to that beefiness. The Angela being locked in as that roam is going to offer some incredible utility to this Barats by way of that Heart Guard. We've seen it be used, especially when tank meta was really at the forefront of MLBB. We've seen Angela be picked up by a lot of tank options. You've seen it with the Barats, you've seen it with Akai, you've seen it with Karina, from a lot of teams, even in across seas in the other regions. So D-Gods definitely has a combination of locked in at that Bombshell and this Angela Warrior can definitely be able to find some synergy. They're able to find that synergy. It'll be a little hard to deal with in those team fights. Barats is already hard to kill, but with Heart Guard in play, in effect, it becomes an increasingly more difficult task to accomplish taking down that jungler for the side of D-Gods.
Being taken down, you are seeing a clash over on the top side. Retex versus Izumi. Bombshell clearing that creep. But we know one thing, neutral objective is spawning in Turtle in 2 seconds, and we gotta wonder which favor will it go to. Is it gonna go to the side of D-Gods over there on Bombshell for this beefier jungle on the Barats, or are we gonna see another beefy jungle? Something we haven't seen jungle, I want to say ever, for the MLSA. Disappointing retry on this glue. It is down to about a quarter of health now, and the question is who has the retribution being fitness welcome canceled by the Divine Judgment and allowing disappointing retry to steal this turtle. Speaking of steals, Izumi getting that Abysm Strike to take first blood into the hands of Nefarious. Down goes Bombshell, but wait a minute. A little bit of a taunt over there. Angela trying to stun disappointing retry in the process. A bush play over there by Izumi rushing into Retex as well, but not able to knock him down.
And that's a great play, right, from the side of Nefarious to be able to pick up that turtle. We also seen, right, Bombshell have that Daytona's welcome get canceled out there, not able to find the pick there and be able to focus down a target and get them out of the way for that retribution. That gave time for Disappointing Retry to kind of walk up and kind of just bloop it, right, with that puddle there from Glue, getting his sticky hands onto that turtle and stealing that right under the noses of D-Gods, who were all set up, but just weren't able to keep Glue Man out of the pit and keep him zoned away from that neutral objective.
Yeah, definitely having to kind of pay attention to those backlines. Watch who's going to stop you from taking these neutral objectives. And an excellent read over there by Big Zeus, realizing, hey, the jungler's Barats. He's going to use Detna's welcome. Let me go ahead and use Divine Judgment. Get him out of place. Get him suppressed to where he can't move in an easy retribution into the hands of Disappointing Retry on this Glue. Now, speaking of Glue, Disappointing Retry in the bush, possibly getting a pick off on the Retex. Is Izumi joining the clash as well, but you are seeing Retex able to hit that speed boost, but the question is, can he escape? Bring the order over there by Codge for additional damage. Abysm Strike not connecting, not hitting the mark. Angela with the Heart Guard to give some additional HP. Divine Judgment pulling him back in. Big Zeus securing the kill. Down goes Retex, but it is a 3v4 situation. Is this a fight D-Gods wants to take? They already lost one member, and it looks like they are going to continue fighting the fight in the mid-river. And now 3 turns to 4 as Warrior joining this clash as well. But neither side is going to go ahead and continue this engagement.
Definitely, and a couple mistakes there from D-Gods kind of layered in. The first one being right, Fredrin went for that cut in the XP lane, tried to mirror what Darth was doing. Darth was cutting in between that tier 2 and that inhibitor, but he could afford to do that, right? He has the upper hand in that lane matchup. Apparently, I was kind of iffy on which way it kind of goes and if Darth can really succeed, but he was finding a way, and Fredrin being slow at the clear was still in the wave back there on his way out while Darth had already completed that. And then we've seen Warrior, right? Maybe misplay the heart guard. Fredrin was already kind of on his way out the door. The members of Nefarious were not going to let him escape. And instead of maybe putting the heart guard on Bombshell there, a little maybe too hopeful that maybe Fredrin could survive with that heart guard. And didn't have anything, no utility left for maybe Bombshell to come, maybe trade out and recover in that clash there. And speaking of clashes, we are seeing, right, Valentina picking up that book, going to bring in some of that CDR to kind of let those skills layer in. We know Valentina with the Terrify has been adjusted, has been buffed, able to get a couple more Terrifies out in between those team fights, and that Enchanted Talisman definitely going to help and lead the way. Both marksmen picking up their Windtalker, going to be speeding up that scaling. Both these marksmen kind of hit around the same power spike and kind of go typically for the same build. They're both major crit monsters. Speaking of crit down here in the mid lane,
you are seeing a battle in the river from both teams. You do see Glue trying to rush in, get a possible pick off. Big Zeus in play as well. Lethal Wonder is active, and you are seeing Disappointing Retri push in for this creep. But down goes the Retribution, and it was actually stolen by Disappointing Retri. He definitely doesn't, I think his name is a little bit of a facade right now. As Amazing Retri definitely in play.
Definitely. And speaking of things happening, speaking of plays, down on that bot side, we did see the marksman matchup in between the Bruno and the Irithel does go into the favor of Bruno. He did find the first tower. Ooh, but speaking of plays here.
Running into the wrong bush, immobilized, and Waka Waka getting the kill onto Bruno with barely any HP. But this is going to open up the opportunity to take back a tower, as he did lose his in the bottom side. With no one to contest, he is going to go ahead and recall, realizing he is very low. Are seeing Azumi kind of make his way down to that lane as well to kind of clear up these minions. But speaking of clearing, a little bit of an overextension over there by Disappointing Retri. And this is one of the things that the Glue can provide, that split, even when things are looking a little bit tricky, even when his HP is super low. As soon as that split activates, he pretty much regens all of his health, and that is definitely something you have to watch out for the side of D-Gods. But speaking of watching out for, you do see Heart Guard possibly in effect, but no, they are going to rush in for the full clash. You are seeing 4v1 situation, the chase, the pursuit at its finest, and down goes Azumi into the hands of Waka Waka.
Does a little bit of utility used, but Nefarious not going to be joining in on that turtle clash to be able to take advantage of that, as they will go ahead and take the top tower. And there it goes again. We're seeing, right, that engaged Bombshell was looking for the Detona's welcome, but the split from Glue able to get him out of trouble's way, just like you pointed out, just like you harped on. It seems like the Glue pick in the jungle, while it's the first time I've seen it. I don't know about you, Weezy, but this is definitely the first time I've seen Glue in the jungle, and I had some thoughts about it. Ooh, but speaking of thoughts, hold them.
You are seeing Eunice get a kill onto Warrior. Down goes Angela, the roam, the support for the side of D-Gods, and now they have to kind of disengage, as they do not have the numbers and they do not have their support to keep them in this battle. But wait a minute, a little bit of a dance in the river. Eunice going in for some additional damage onto Bombshell, but no worries. He is that beefier jungle, that Barat. He's going to go ahead and continue his farm. And it looks like both teams just giving a little bit of vision, but not being too aggressive. Only 3-2, not a high kill game. 7 minutes in that 8-minute mark, but still into the favor of Nefarious, up by 2,000 gold.
Yes, they are up 2,000 gold, but I will say they are kind of on a tightrope. They are on a timer in between these two teams, right? I do believe the edge is going to go out to D-Gods as the match goes on. Speaking of going on here, we're seeing a little bit of clash in the mid lane.
Razor's Wrath not able to connect. A little bit of a recall by Eunice, able to escape with 1 HP. Heart Guard activated onto Norbert, that wizard that we were talking about for the side of D-Gods on this Kagura. But Irithel rushing in with that heavy crossbow, trying to do some damage, possibly take this mid tower. But wait a minute, ring order by Big Zeus and Disappointing Retri using that split. It's going to go and disengage, but Norbert rushing in, taking out Glue. Down goes Disappointing Retri, but a response by Eunice, taking out Waka Waka. But look at the tower. You do see it down to about half HP. Bombshell going ahead and contesting this buff. It's going to go ahead and steal it from the side of Nefarious. Down goes the blue buff for Disappointing Retri, and now the fight continues in this mid lane. Some heavy focus and pressure right now from D-Gods, really trying to take this objective, but In the meantime, you are seeing a tower drop on the top side, or the bottom side. The tier 2 turret falling into the hands of Nefarious with nobody to kind of protect it. Izumi making the most out of the map.
Yeah, and I mean, it kind of goes back to what you just said there. D-Gods is trying to get those objectives, and Nefarious is actually getting the job done. They are up 3-0 as far as towers. All tier 3s done from those mid and side lanes. Nefarious definitely has the control on the map so far. Actually, take that back. Not a tier 3 across the board. Tier 3 on the sides, and a tier 2 on that bot side. So they do still have a lot of control, just don't have that mid tower crack. If they can get that mid tower open, that's going to be a lot of pressure on D-Gods, and that's definitely what they want. Because like I was saying, I do feel like the scale kind of tips as this game progresses along. You have the barrage who kind of scales. Irithel, obviously, I did mention they kind of have the same power spike around that 3 item, but really more so like the 4 item power spike for Waka Waka here on Irithel is where you really feel the pain, where it really becomes a lot to deal with. And with that Heart Guard in play and with the heavy crossbow dropping, it's going to be very hard to stop this Irithel, especially with the lacking CC to really catch this or mobile target. But speaking of mobile, both teams on the move for this Lord.
On the prowl, down goes Heart Guard on to Glue with the split, possibly Izumi still in the Lord with that Die Rock Detonus. Welcome going in, gonna grab up a member of Nefarious, but unable to stun Eunice onto the wall. But look at the damage as Warrior rushing in, trying to get a stun over there on this Angela, not able to make anything happen. But that was lured into the hands of Nefarious in that clash. But now a fight possibly on the way inside of the mid-river. Heavy crossbow over there by the Irithel, trying to do some damage, but down goes the minions, and in comes the Lord on the bottom side, rushing in for a possible engagement. And now the side of D-Gods needing to kind of refocus, regroup, and start trying to focus on a plan to kind of contest this Lord.
Absolutely, and Azumi living up to the hype, being one of the top XP laners. We just seen a crazy Flicker Abysm strike there to take down Warrior, to take down the utility, get the Heart Guard out of play for the side of D-Gods, and they're now down a member. Right, as that Lord's pushing down in the bot, it doesn't look like they're going to stack up and trail it. They're going to go ahead and take some of that pressure that they've asserted in the bot lane and go ahead and focus on this mid. As Norbert's left all alone here. But speaking of alone, the members of Nefarious, right, grouping up here, we could see another engage.
Detonus Welcome connecting, but not stunning Izumi on the wall. I'm wondering why Bombshell didn't just aim to the right for the possible stun for the team, but Heart Guard is activated on him for some sustainability as he is the frontline jungle for the team. The Dinosaur rushing in, trying to get some food, but you are seeing Glue trying to rush out. Angela trying to get a stun. Warrior not able to connect. Is disappointed. Retro a little too fast with that mobility, but look at Norbert, that wizard in play, possibly going to use that yin yang overturn for burst potential. But looking at the map, down goes the tier 3 tower for the mid lane to kind of even out the objectives for the side of D-Gods. Killing spree activated is down goes Michael over there as well. And now you are seeing a little bit of a turnaround, but keep your eyes on Izumi. You have to watch this man, as he is a ninja when it comes to split pushing for objectives. Speaking of ninja, you are seeing Heart Guard activated by Angela for some sustainability. That was Valentina still in that ultimate, but not enough. As Waka Waka rushes in with the heavy crossbow, is going to take down Izumi, but a definitely good trade for the side of Nefarious, as he was able to take down the bottom lane inhibitor turret.
Absolutely. I'd give up my XP laner any day of the week for that inhibitor. I don't care what it sounds like. Definitely a pawn at that point if you're talking about opening up the base for D-Gods, a worthwhile investment, especially crossing over around to that 13-minute mark, coming up a little just ahead of that first enhanced Lord. It's a valuable option. But speaking of enhanced here,
see possible clash going on the way for the top side. Miguel, the Wolf Ronaldo with the flaming soccer balls, trying to do a little bit of contest. Heart Guard activated a little too early, a little premature from Angela. Warrior over there onto Bombshell, and it looks like the side of D-Gods is going to choose not to continue this fight. But looking at the map, right, it is 5-6. 1 kill into the hands of D-Gods over on Nefarious. But looking at the real estate so far, Nefarious has a lot more turrets at their disposal. Lord is spawned in now, and you are seeing the focus shifted from the side of D-Gods to try and take this objective. But 3 members of Nefarious, Eunice, Big Zeus, and Michael rushing in. Waka Waka getting a kill on to Dairoth in that process, leaving 1 member down for the side of Nefarious, and this is the time for them to take this Lord. And you are seeing a possible backdoor retribution on the way by disappointing Retri. Retex getting a turret on the top side, taking advantage of the split push. Down goes Deton as well. Disappointing Retri, but the amazing Retri gets the Lord, but Waka Waka takes down Eunice in the clash. Bombshell getting a kill as well is going to go ahead and take down Big Zeus, and that is a 3-for-none trade, but they were able to take the Lord. Now the question is, was it worth it?
Right. Is that worth it? Was it the right call? And I mean, we can see it, right? They did lose that Lord, but speaking of things, they lost a lot of members in that team fight. And I did point this out, right? The scale does kind of tip as we go later on into this game. You can kind of see it now. And even ahead of that Lord, right, before the contest was even there, it was funny to actually notice Nefarious, right, had all the map pressure as far as towers. Now it's been flipped or even up just a little bit, but before that happened, D-Gods actually had the gold lead, even with most of their towers being taken down and Nefarious controlling most of the map. They were actually still down in gold, which is not a good sign. That meant D-Gods was doing a good job, right, of staying in the game, somehow finding the trades and keeping the gold actually in their favor, even while being behind on the map. But speaking of the map, play in the top side incoming potentially.
The tower going into the hands of Miguel on to this Bruno as Fredrin retext with the wise decision to kind of disengage. Too much utility to kind of rush into, even with a Fredrin with the full tank build. Not really the clash he wants to take, but now a lot of real estate has been taken on the map, but it's kind of even on both sides. And I feel like this is going to be one of those matches that is down to the wire, neck to neck. And the question is who will prevail in these 5v5 clashes. We have two master XP laners with the split push potential, Izumi, and also watching Retex on this Fredrin. But speaking of clashes, Izumi taking some serious damage. Retex trying to rush in, unable to get to Izumi. Arcard activated on to the Barats. You do see Detna's welcome to try and get a stun onto the wall. Waka Waka connecting onto Disappointing Retry. The jungler for the side of Nefarious. Down goes Glue. Hardguard still activated. Bombshell on the pursuit, trying to get Eunice. Can he get the kill? Trying to rush into that mage, taking some serious damage, but Eunice able to dash out just in time. But here comes Wolf all those soccer balls. Flaming soccer balls in full effect is going to try and peel off the side of D-Gods from this heavy pursuit. But shifting focus into the mid lane, they are going to try and take the tier 2 tower. Can they take it? Down it goes into the hands of Bombshell, taking an objective inside of these clashes. This is what they want, to slowly inch their way up this map and go for a finish. But like we said, we got to give these teams credit, right? 6-10 right now, not even a high kill game. It's already late game, 16 minutes in, and some wise macro movements, right? Some wise micro as well, as they're kind of even on turrets. Yeah, they're down to their inhibitors, that three-legged table for the side of Nefarious, but this is still going to be that neck-and-neck engagement, as the side of D-Gods is down to their no inhibitor turret on the bottom side, their inhibitor on the top, and that tier 2 tower for the mid. So I think really it's just going to be in terms of who wins these clashes going forward.
Yeah, but I mean, if you look at it, the map is pretty even, right? Besides them having an inhibitor missing, but now, I mean, look at the fight in the bot side here.
You see heavy crossbow kind of negated by Detna's welcome on Eunice with the Valentina. Unstoppable as Waka Waka gets killed, but Izumi returning the favor. Norbert taking out Eunice in that trade. That is 2 members out for the side of Nefarious to 1 member for D-Gods, and this is the time for them to go for this Lord, as they do have the numbers in their favor. But they did lose their marksman in this trade, and now the question is, can Michael with the flaming soccer balls be the difference to win this for the side of Nefarious, as you are seeing the heavy clash on the way. Norbert taking some serious damage to the Ring of Order. Big Zeus on the chase, trying to get the kill. You do see Retex trying to go and possibly get a little bit of energy eruption to stun him. Split activated, gonna go ahead and push him off. But wait a minute, Heartguard has been activated onto Norbert. That wizard we've been talking about, Disappointing Retry in a difficult situation, is gonna go ahead and get off of that split on top of Retex. But wait a minute, a little bit of taunt energy eruption onto Michael with the flaming soccer ball. Rushes out of the fight. Retex taking some serious damage now, down to barely any HP. Is gonna go ahead and heal around the Lord, but they still have the zonage. You do see Disappointing Retry. He is that frontline jungle, that glue that we have seen for the first time inside of the MLSA, unable to get the retribution off in time. And Bombshell with the Retry fingers is gonna go ahead and take it for the side of D-Gods. Not only take that, but take him down inside of that Detna's welcome. But can he get the kill? Appraiser's Wrath, not unable to hit the mark. The split with no copies behind him, able to get out. But wait a minute, heavy crossbow over there by the Iridel, grabbed by Divine Judgment and comboed with the flaming soccer ball over there by Mikel to get that kill. And man, oh man, what an engagement from both sides. But that was lured into the hands of D-Gods to take this push.
Right. I mean, it just goes back to what we were saying, right? The team fight scaling from D-Gods, that front to back formation has been very good. The side of Nefarious, right, is kind of charging in. That's kind of the composition they have. You have Izumi on the Dire, you have a Glue, and you have that Kaja and Blow. All 3 of those picks kind of want to force the fight, right? But when you have that wall from Fredrin, when you have that wall in Bombshell on the Barats, and then you have the Heart Guard to kind of extend the life force of that front line, and to also add into that kite, very hard for Nefarious to find anything. And we're seeing that being proven now as D-Gods is meeting the conditions in these team fights. But speaking of conditions, right, both of the marksmen have got online. They are full build. The majority of people either full build or starting to complete those final items. And with that being said, Walk Walk is actually very dangerous on this Irithel, especially with the hard guard. We need to see some better positioning. We did see the marksman get taken down 2 times in a row, kind of in some awkward situations. But if the marksman from the side of D-Gods can stay alive just a couple seconds longer, right, and be able to provide that backline damage, D-Gods is going to, in my opinion, be able to easily take this fight. I mean, they're winning these fights without the number advantage, even without their marksman. And like I said, that just goes to the composition they have. It's just so much stronger, not only in paper, but with the gameplay D-Gods is playing with, able to make it match up as well in the actual game itself. And Nefarious really not having an answer to be able to overcome that, even with that Bruno, very strong with those mecha legs, not able to match up with Irithel when they do decide to drop that heavy crossbow, drop that heart guard for that sustain, and they're able to kite back, right, against Nefarious. They're able to play around in that fight for a long time. You have the slows coming in from Kagura with the Umbrella, you have it from Warrior on the Angela, and then of course the forever CC chain that is Retex on the Fredrin, able to keep Nefarious at bay and in check no matter what for those clashes of fights. Speaking of clashes of fights, we're seeing it happen here in the river.
Denton is welcome, getting the stun onto the wall, onto Disappointing Retro, forced to use the split. Gonna go ahead and grab up Barat, but wait a minute, not the hero you want to take in this engagement, and this is a lot of utility use from both sides of the field. Speaking of the field, in comes the hard guard onto Bombshell, that front line. This is Thanos with all the gems right now, rushing in to the side of Nefarious, but deciding to disengage again. And right now, you gotta respect these teams, and I'm honestly impressed with how well they're performing tonight, right? Not a high kill game, only 8 to 12. We are 20 minutes in, and you can tell they know what's on the line. They know when to engage and when to disengage, not being too greedy. But speaking of greed, you do see the Umbrella over there by Kagura, rushing into Big Zeus, gonna chip off some of his health. But wait a minute, Ward is in play, and you are seeing the side of the D-Gods do some damage onto it now, down to half health. And you need to see the side of Nefarious find a way in, but Glue is on a Disappointing Retro. He is this jungler, that frontline composition, this jungler we haven't really seen for MLSA, and the question is, can he prevail with this Retribution? He lost the Lord last time to Barat, but wait a minute, Divine Judgment displaced Bombshell, and Michael's gonna go ahead and take it with the mecha legs. What a play, but you do see Denton is welcome trying to connect onto Disappointing Retro, but unable to hit the marks. He gets out of that AoE zone, but is able to get the split proc. Not going to use it though. Is going to decide to wisely disengage. But speaking of disengagement, Dover getting a kill onto Michael. Heart guard activated on to Irithel with the heavy crossbow. Going to try and burst down Izumi, caught in a bad situation. 3v1. Waka Waka getting that kill down. Goes Izumi, the XP lane for the side of Nefarious. But look at Lord on the bottom side is now clashing into the hands of D-Gods, and they're going to go ahead and contest it all the way in the mid of the bottom lane. Looking at Norbert, or actually Eunice on the mid is going to go ahead and try and take a tier 2 tower, but engagement on the bottom side as they're fighting over this objective. Wait a minute, Denton is welcome connecting on Bombshell, getting stun onto the wall, a little bit of a taunt as well, and Bombshell getting that kill onto Big Zeus. Down goes Kaja. Disappointed Retchy not really able to provide any utility right there, and he's going to go ahead and disengage, but Waka clearing these minions, and man, oh man, is D-Gods putting on the pressure.
Absolutely. And I mean, we've seen it there. They lost a Lord, but the team fight, obviously, Nefarious had no chance of winning. As you can see, the bodies laid all over the bottom side of that jungle. And that's why I'm also a little confused. D-Gods played that Lord so passive. Both XP laners were in the top. Fredrin did go to meet Izumi, who has been left for all intents and purposes to be a walking cursed helmet right now for the side of Nefarious. They can't win the 5v5, so Izumi has been assigned that permanent mission to kind of find somewhere to be able to cut these lanes. Speaking of cut in the jungle, might have made the wrong turn here.
Bombshell using a Denton as well. He's going to get a stun and a taunt. Retex getting the kill onto Izumi. Not the place you want to be. Big Zeus spawning in now. 4 members on the board for the side of Nefarious. Hard guard activated onto Bombshell. Thanos with the full Infinity Stones is going to try and push in this inhibitor turret for the mid lane with this full team of D-Gods. But the question is, can their dagger pierce the heart of Nefarious right now? And they're going to disengage again. And man, oh man, Deku, we are sitting at 23 minutes.
Right, 23 minutes, but like we said, as the minutes tick on, as the game goes on longer and longer, D-Gods is just in the favorable position. We've seen them, right? They were losing through the majority of this match and lost a lot of pressure. And I can't even say they were really losing because, as I pointed out, they were losing a lot of ground, right, on the map territory that they had to give up, especially to Izumi, who was doing a great job of keeping those lanes pressured, but D-Gods keeping up the gold, keeping up their farm to go ahead and hit this spike that we are now seeing. Nefarious has not found an answer to overcome them. They're going to have to find a way to be able to find the pickoff. Got to get Big Zeus in on that Divine Judgment. We've seen him did make a play on that Lord, right? He was able to pull a bombshell away on the Barats, able to displace him away from that Lord. And they were able to secure that retreat. But we need to see that same kind of play in the team fights. They have to find a pickoff. That is their condition. You need to find something for that Divine Judgment to connect to. You need to find something for disappointing retreat on this glue to use that split and do a little grab and bring something to dinner for the table of Nefarious. They have to be able to pick something off. This front to back composition from D-Gods is just too strong for the fight. They cannot take the 5v5 head on. You can see it now with a zoom in. That bot side, D-Gods knows they have the number, and now we're going to see the Lord dance go on here.
Teams battling over custody for this Lord of Phrases. Wrath connecting, but all teams still in play. Lord with the triple set, trying to help out the side of Nefarious. But wait a minute, Heart Guard activated onto Retex, trying to save him. But Split has other plans. But both teams still engaging. Eunice able to get a kill and take the Lord. Takes out Bombshell and takes the objective. Warrior getting a kill onto Eunice not Eunice in that trade, but Big Zeus in that trade. And they are continuing this fight. You are seeing Mikhail get a kill onto Fredra, and that is 2 members down for the side of D-Gods. Heart Guard activated that Valentina using that IMU into the favor of Nefarious. And man, oh man, you got to give credit to Eunice right there, taking out that jungler, not only the jungler, but stealing the Lord.
Definitely going to give that credit, as we do see Eunice actually get taken out there, but credit has to be given as well to Big Zeus. I just talked about it, finding that pick off, finding that displacement, did a great job. Did have to sacrifice his life, but what a cost there for the side of D-Gods. They lost Bombshell ahead of that enhanced Lord that fell into the hands of Nefarious, and that's exactly what they need to do, rinse and repeat. You have to send this Kaja basically on a suicide mission to find that pickoff, to find that security for that pick in between these fights. Once they found the pick, I mean, the fight went right into the hand of Nefarious, and that's exactly what I was calling out and pointing that they need to lean into. You have to lean into the strengths of your composition. Avoid the full potential 5v5 or 5v4 that D-Gods is going to want. Find your pick off, take the numbers and even it up a little bit, take off some important pieces from D-Gods, and then take the fight when the board has been evened up a little bit. If you fall into that 5v5 trap and that 5v4, D-Gods is going to win it every time, as they have again and again in this match. They are still up 18-10 to go ahead and prove the track record of what they've been doing to Nefarious in these fights. But Nefarious, they are showing right there, like I said, if they can play into that condition, they do still have a chance. It's a little bit of a daunting task to be able to find someone important, because you can't just pull the wrong target. Right, like we've seen Glue go for the split and pick up Bombshell. It led to nothing, but D-Gods kind of running them down in that bot side River fight and losing members. So there has to be a little IQ, a little wise decision on there, some strategic thinking on who they need to focus. But if they can secure it, they have a great chance of securing the fight. And that's going to be the way Nefarious can fight back up against D-Gods, who has scaled into this 26-minute game in between Nefarious and D-Gods.
Yeah, you are seeing a lot of items being picked up, as if there wasn't enough already. Speaking of items, picking up enough down to the Divine Judgment. Mikhail gonna use the Mecha Legs, taking out Bombshell. That is Barat's down. That Thanos is not gonna be able to utilize the Infinity Stones over there from Warrior on this Angela. And right now, this is a good chance for the side of Nefarious to clash it out and possibly win this game, as we might be in a record for the longest game in the Mobile Legends Scrim Academy right now. We definitely haven't had a game go over 30 minutes, and I think this may possibly be the one. But one thing about these engagements, right? When a member falls, it is a long cooldown time until they spawn back into the Land of Dawn. So joining us over here on the caster's desk for almost a full minute every single time they fall in these engagements. So you have to make the most out of this. When they have one member down, take the fight. You have the numbers. A wise decision over there and a wise choice from Big Zeus. Trying to rush in, use that Divine Judgment to get these pickoffs is going to be pivotal to their team winning as well. Speaking of the team, making the most of the situation, realizing that the jungle is down and they're going to go ahead and secure this Lord. But the question is, will they be able to win off of this engagement? You see a lot of teams kind of overextend or be too aggressive with these Lord pushes, not syncing the lanes properly, and then the other team kind of making them pay for it. So I really hope for the side of Nefarious that they kind of sync these lanes for this Luminous Lord push to kind of close this game out. But I don't know, Deku, if this goes to 30 minutes, this is history for the Mobile Legends Scrim Academy. It's the longest game we have ever had.
I think we might have already breached that achievement there. I think we might have already crossed over into the longest match, but I will say again, the Fairies doing a great job, and Kaja pulling off exactly what I've been harping on: the pick off, the pick off, the pick off. They found Bombshell once again at the hands of the Divine Judgment, able to take those numbers, and it was a critical piece, like we said, that they need to be able to focus on and take out from the side of D-Gods to open up those team fights, open up the objectives. And right now, the Fairies coming online and thriving doing it. But speaking of things coming online, speaking of things thriving, both of these teams know that this could potentially be the last clash. We've seen a lot of immortalities picked up right now. There's 4 from the side of D-Gods, and I believe, 2 or 3 on the side of the Fairies. So both teams looking to end it all right here, right now. And Wheezy, here comes the final siege between the Fairies and D-Gods.
Ooh, I might have to breathe real quick, because I know these teams are about to get sweaty in the Land of the Dawn. Here they go, trying to engage on the Lord. Denton's Welcome activated over there by Bombshell. Is going to go ahead and pick up a possible kill, but Split Split activated by Glue. Mikhail taking the mid turret. Lord crashing into the Nexus, but bursted down. You are seeing Mikhail with the Flaming Soccer Ball. The Mega Legs taking down Fredrin, but fight is not over, as they are going to go for the Nexus. Heartguard activated by both sides. Valentina on Eunice as well, but down goes the Nexus into the hands of the Fairies. And ladies and gentlemen, they have taken the crown for King of the Hill.
Victory!
Absolutely took the crown and turned the game around, actually be able to face up against D-Gods. And even there at the end, right, we seen Kaja do it again. Baratz was taken low. He had to go back to the spawn and be able to regen some of that health. And Big Zeus took the opportunity to take Fredrin, the last remaining front line, out of play for the side of D-Gods. And they were just left all alone. Just a bunch of damage dealers and no tanks in sight there as they went ahead and ended that game. Disappointing Retry picking up the MVP, but my MVP is definitely going to be Big Zeus. He rose to the occasion, found the win conditions. Speaking of conditions, Mikhail on the Bruno, definitely also holding it down for the side Nefarious, 36% team damage and 71% turret damage. And he actually led in team damage with only being there for half of the fights. If you look at that, that's 50% team fight participation and still leading the way by a landslide. So some great gameplay from the Bruno, a great game in general from Nefarious, as they do take down D-Guys in the first match, the King of the Hill.
Man, oh man, what an impressive clash from both sides. Breaking history, longest game for the MLSA. And I gotta say, I'm definitely seeing the micro, I'm seeing the macro, I'm seeing the objectives and the synergy from all these teams as we progress through the weeks in the Mobile Legends Scrim Academy. So definitely a special shout out there. It's not easy to go and last all the way to a 29-minute game. So I think that is the record. The question is who will take it to that 30-minute mark. Maybe some teams in the future for today may prevail with that. Speaking of the future, like we said, today is King of the Hill, and the rules are simple. Looking at the schedule and looking at the rules, first come, first serve, best of one. Winning team stays on every Monday and Wednesday, 8 p.m. Eastern time until the last team stands. Like we said, very wise game, very good game from the side of Nefarious, but I got to give credit over there to D-Gods as well. I think both sides played it phenomenally, but there can only be one winner. What does that mean? That means now the crown has been reigned over to the side of Nefarious, and the question is, can they keep it on their heads? As they're going up against a top 32 team in North America next. That's right, guys. They are going up against Huevo. Mama's eggs have been hot in the Land of Dawn, and the question is, can Huevo take the crown that they just earned with that almost 30-minute match? Definitely don't go nowhere. Grab some popcorn, get some drinks. We'll be right back with you guys for the next match in King of the Hill.
You can travel the world to find yourself. But that journey must start at home. Because you can't know who you are without remembering your past experiences.
Basic is returning to Asia for his redemption. The BTK trio wants to prove M3 wasn't just a fluke, and Hoon looking to win back his fans.
I got basically kicked, but they still call me traitor for, I don't know, for pursuing my dream.
I thought leaving that comfort zone and then try new things was a better way for me to pursue the win.
We're coming and we're gonna compete. We're gonna put a fight, that's for sure.
I'm coming for you, M4.
This is what we have all been waiting for.
You push us, we push you back. You respect us, we respect you back. You doubt us, we will bleed to prove you wrong.
Everything on the line, right here, right now.
Definitely, they're not underestimating us as much as they did in M3. People probably see us and take us more seriously now, especially considering our accomplishment back then.
I want to be the first in the world. I want to win a world championship. And the only way to really do that is day in and day out. There's no relaxing. You have to keep going.
Here comes the valley.
It's my time, I'm a ball. I'ma get this money right. I'm gonna live my best life. They been talking to me on me. You know they'll never win. I'm controlling all my victories. And something that's gotta give. Cause this shit just what I made it now. Made it now. You can't ever break us down. Break us down. I'll be reaching for the stars. Promise I'll be what they not. And I'll never ever stop. Won't never stop. Yeah.
Touch the sky, you were made of silver and gold. Touch the sky, you're the greatest, don't you know? You and I can make it out of the cold. Hang tight, we gonna reach for the greatness. We will always rise, we will never fall. We fight in our eyes, and we are strong. Even though we know our backs against the wall. And again, you take your aim, you know that this is.
I've been down, been waiting so long. I'm here for the crown, I'm here to show off. Greatness time, just waiting to show y'all. This is your time to remember.
So many times I lie in the basement waiting for greatness. No, I won't listen to anyone hating on me and telling me I wouldn't make it. Cause I did everything that they said I couldn't. Caught my footing and I got the controls. I stand for something, I ain't running now. I'm the greatest now, I just wanna make it proud. Don't let me down, don't let it off. I've been on the road, accomplished all of my goals. And I ain't gonna let you down.
Touch the sky, you're made of silver and gold. Touch the sky, you're the greatest, don't you know? You and I, we can make it out of the cold. Hang tight, we gonna reach for the greatness. We will always rise, we will never fall. We fight in our eyes, and we are strong. Even though we know our backs against the wall. And again, pick your aim, you know that this is.
Coming for the game, cause we ready for the victory.
So turn it up, turn it up, turn it all the way up.
The sky is so vast, isn't it? My little flare.
Papa? Can you reach the sky and ignite the stars?
yours, Honey Bunch.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Land of the Dawn. We are the Mobile Legends Scrim Academy, and man, oh man, was history in the making with Game 1 for King of the Hill. That's right, today is King of the Hill, and the rules are simple. First come, first serve. Best of one. Winning team stays on every Monday and Wednesday, starting at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. Now, like we said, insane matches so far, and going forward, we are seeing Nefarious, who took the crown over D-Guides, now going up against a new competitor, a new challenger, a team that is top 32 in North America. And the question is, who will prevail? Nefarious, one of those record-breaking teams, one of the previous title holders for most wins in a row for King of the Hill, prevailing over Huevo, or we see a turnaround. Huevo snatching the crown. Mama's Egg, super hot in the Land of the Dawn. Today, we are joined by two amazing casters. We have on the play-by-play Coach Deku in the building, and then alongside him on the on-point analysis, the item breakdowns, the keys to victory, El Manny is in the building as well. How are you doing today, Coach Deku?
I'm doing great, Wheezy. Ready to get into this next match, right? In between these two teams. We've seen the first match, and what a match it was. I mean, it was some crazy runtime there. Definitely set a record for the longest match, but it brought all the excitement, right, that I spoke on, that I was looking forward to. And speaking of excitement, I'm also excited as I will be joined by Poppy Manny, like I said, joining us for the analyst for the first time, I believe, out here in the MLSA. Getting to hear him on the mic. Manny, step up, man. Introduce yourself.
What's poppin'? I was just waiting for you guys to finish. Your boy Poppy just dropping in with all the enthusiasm, excitement in the world. Last game with Nefarious, they went all the way to the 30-minute mark. Man, that got me so hyped. I could not wait to jump on the mic. But speaking of that, let's talk about these bans that's going on right here, because I am just so eager to analyze for you guys. I love the fact that they've insta-banned Leomord and the Glue. Both are extreme problem right now. On Nefarious' side, they do not want to deal with Carrie with her true damage is a problem. Also, Joe and Fanny, you know, your typical assassin bans that nobody wants to see cheesy during the early game. Wan and Leslie, perfect marksman bans. Those two marksmen are always spammed, true damage, and if you get the Wan out, it's a wrap. I do want to talk about, since it just got picked up, Nefarious' pick with Belleric. That's perfect. I've been seeing a lot of Belleric jungles, let alone he's an awesome roam with the buffs they gave him. You put him with Blade Armor, he instantly shreds any marksman out here. But passing it off to you, Deku, what do you think this draft's gonna do? Do you prefer Huevo or Nefarious?
It's hard to say, right? Because both of them are going for two different things, and we kind of saw that in the last match. Some of that team fight compositions, like for the side of Nefarious, it looks like they've now switched it up. They're looking for the team fights. And Huevo will kind of be on the end of kind of that pick-off, right? They have the Franco and they have the Kaja. We've seen Franco. I don't know if you got to pay attention to Worlds. I know Weezy's seen it. I've seen, I know a couple of other spectators out here have got to catch in those matches. Franco has been insane. If you've seen Falcon Esports play it, the Roamer, Naomi, you know exactly what I'm talking about. And I don't know if King Julian can live up to the shoes, but if he can play half as good as Naomi on the Franco, I'm not going to lie, I would have to give it over to the composition of Huevo. And I definitely can't count them out. Huevo has definitely performed. And something else to kind of look at there is that Huevo is actually taking a pretty solid composition. This is a team that has brought out things like the Sun Roam, the Hanzo Roam, picks like the Hylos and the XP, all kinds of weird drafts like that. I think even a Johnson, if I'm not mistaken. And tonight, looking like a very solid composition. I don't know if they're looking to give out some maximum effort, looking to take down Nefarious here, but I'm liking to see Huevo kind of look a little serious in their drafting and the composition. Doesn't look like they're coming to play around tonight. Maybe looking to make a statement in the MLSA. And from the side of Nefarious, also looking to make a statement, as they do have that Belleric in the jungle. That's going to be great. What do you think about that?
Oh, there it is. As I'm talking about it, Belleric jungle is perfect. It has so much clear. I think it's a better Bowman on how you build him tank, but he provides perfect sets for your team. However, like you pointed out, with Naomi's Franco, if Julian can get all these picks, let alone Kaja coming, they have two suppresses, which is the most strongest CC in the game, and they can set up. My only concern is that since Nefarious has Valentina, they can steal one of those instant ults and make a play of their own. But I do look forward to see Huevo if they're going to be able to pull off early mid-game picks.
And that's a great point you made actually about the Valentina, right? Because they do have the wild charge already from Big Zeus, and we know Big Zeus is definitely able to make it count with those important ultimates, as he did find the mark with Kaja to secure that win up against D-Gods. And now with disappointing Retri with that Rapid Diorite on the Belleric for those taunts. And then if Valentina is able to secure, whether it's Divine Judgment or Bloody Hunt, some incredible additional CC to suppress, like you said, one of the strongest CC, not even one of the strongest CC in the game. Definitely would be a very useful hit. But oh man, talking about the Iron Hook already coming out from King Druid, and I don't know, man. We might be in store for some crazy gameplay, and that's going to be the rest of the pace here in this match.
That was right there a statement. He hooked him. He hooked the buff. They're trying to make the invade to let them know that it's not going to be an easy game. They're going to be completely aggressive, and if they don't answer back properly, speaking of properly, the Grok just outplayed and killed him with the wall.
He did catch the kill with that barrier, and Huevo might have bit off a little more than they can chew on that invade. Might have been feeling a little too confident behind the Iron Hooks. They are losing as far as in that mid trio, but even in the lane, right, we're seeing Law actually having a hard time against Azumi on top with this Martis. The knockout strikes not finding anything up against the Mortal Coil. Speaking of finding things, though, disappointing Retri was looking to return the favor on that invade, and he definitely could. He is level 4. Master B's on the Stamps is only level 3. The retribution is going to be stronger for disappointing Retri if he wanted to really contest. And I think he did Retri that first creep before he went ahead and disengaged across the river for that gold crab. It's going to fall to the hands of Kaja there. Isn't going to take it. He gets one and loses another. But speaking of losing things, again, Loth having such difficulty in this top side up against this Mortal Coil Azumi, proving himself yet again, being one of those XP laners that you can rely on. It's going to give you that consistent gameplay opening up around this turtle. Speaking of openings, though, Mikhail in the gold lane, a little bit of trade there, but they're going to go ahead and disengage. And now we are seeing Huevo, though, pulling that turtle aggro, pulling that aggression, but Nefarious is making them back off. They are losing a little bit of ground. There goes the barrier to split off the rest of Huevo. King Julian, personal E-girl there on the way, trying to contest this. Retri is going to find that retribution, and not only that, but find a kill on Bees on top of that Wrath Dyrod. And that's what I have to give that over there to Azumi as well. Getting it done. The Mortal Coils coming in right on time to stop Master Bees contesting the Retri. So we're going to contest Julian finding the hook, and not only the hook, but the bloody hunt on Big Zeus inside the tower. Huevo right now fighting back, man.
I'm on the board. So see, I was wanting to make a few key points. How you were saying when Martis is fighting Paquito, personally, I don't find Paquito a viable pick against Martis. I would have gone Freddy even if you wanted to just go something that's going to be able to taunt, apply pressure for your team, since they already have 2 tanks and they have super zonage for these team fights. So you needed to pick a fighter that was going to be able to last all their CC. But I will say that Nefarious has been giving me a good tempo, but Huevo with these picks right here, speaking of, just making a statement.
Absolutely. Bloody Hunt followed by the Wild Charger, Wrath of Dart. A lot of utility out, a lot of CC, but it's looking like the Nefarious are going to win out the trade there. So they are going to find the kill. Oh, man, so much action, so much going on between these teams, but Nefarious is still coming out on top here.
Oh, Belleric, man, I'm telling you. So, see, all that damage, it just returned to himself because of his natural blade armor he has in his kit. I don't know. I personally, I invade when I play that champ. So, that's just a super aggressive champ, and people underestimate all the taunts and capabilities that you can do for your team. And Nefarious is definitely capitalizing that in this match. All Huevo can do is focus on these picks and make sure that they survive this early mid game so they can get the farm they need.
Absolutely needing the farm they need. But speaking of things we need, we got to look at the replay here ahead of that first turtle clash as Nefarious was able to set up such a good pocket there. We're going to see the barrier come out from Zeus to go ahead and split the members as the turtle's getting low. And there's a Zumi here. Keep an eye on this Mortal Coast. Look at this as he goes for that third knock of the catch damage, man, to secure that retry for the junglers. Speaking of secure, though, in the mid lane, a lot of action as Eunice is finding a kill on King Julian there. And now Master B is getting taunted, almost getting caught out in the Bennett's Rage from Ree. Going to be able to disengage there as they do lose a member, though. And 6-2 on the kill board. Manny, what is the spelling for the side of Weibo? What do they need to do to get back into this match right now?
Well, it's really tough because they have too much beef, and you needed to pick something like a Claude or Carry to shed into that, to be honest with you. Their team fights are way too strong. I mean, like we've been talking about, they should just try to avoid that. And if they can pick out Valentina first, that's honestly their main problem, because the CC aside, Valentina's just copying their pick ults and utilizing it and winning every single team fight. So that's where I believe they should focus on the team fight. But if they can also choke out this gold lane tower, that'll be a huge advantage they need right here. Speaking of,
there goes that pickoff that you were just talking about. But the return engage, the double wild charge is going to find two members from Weibo there. Because now the Bloody Hunt is also going to attack King Julian to kind of help Egro get away. And hang on a minute there. They're going to find their way out of that fight. No member from Weibo falling down. What a play from Weibo. They're able to secure that tower, the kill, and keep their lives intact. They are starting to close up the gap between these two teams.
Oh, that's, as we were saying, as soon as we speak about what they needed to do, they got it together. Just focus the Valentina. If you can able to get that as a pick-off, so the CC, even though it will taunt you, make sure your backline's fine and avoid it. You'll be able to make that team fight happen. But don't get caught in the pickles. That's going to be really hard. But Julian has been
caught in the pickles. Manny, I hear you. Speaking of pickles in the mid lane, Julian Zeus facing off here. They have to be careful. You don't want to get caught by an iron hook right now, as they are trying to apply some pressure. Weibo, Nefarious keeping it pretty even on the board, but Nefarious finding a tower now to take a slight advantage, 2-1. But here comes the Divine Judgment from Kaja, and now the Flicker Bloody Hunt coming in. They're looking for the pick-off, like you said, Manny, and there it goes. Personal E-Girl looking like a vengeful warrior instead now, as he does find the kill on Azumi on top on that Martisan. The pick-off now secured, but looks like Nefarious is looking to maybe trade this out. They are securing some ground for the Earthful to kind of work on this mid tower, so they're going to be able to take it down without Weibo being able to stop them and be able to disengage, narrowly avoiding the iron hook from Julian there. And now we are seeing the side of Nefarious also starting to work up on the turtle, and only alone there, Beller making his way over there as a side of Nefarious, also clearing up that mid lane to give him some space. But here we go. We are seeing the engage now from both teams. Zeus eating the iron hook there, and that's what you get with Grok with that CC immunity finish race to try to contest, but not going to matter, as disappointing Retry is not going to lose that out. But here comes a concealed play as well, looking like they're just trying to go for the disengage barrier coming out. They were trying to make their way over to Law, but Law, situational awareness, going to be able to get out. But burns the flicker now, but was that the right call? Did he use it too early? We do know Zeus is on his trail. The wall charge coming to play. Rathadar is being bursted out. So is never there goes the iron hook and a kill him.
Oh my gosh, that was a pocket hook.
Out by Candace, and now in the mid lane, back onto the action. Barrier coming out, but not before this Beller is able to take down Wall on the Paquito. Action going on all over the map right now, Manny. What's going on?
Oh my gosh. I'm going to tell you, this has been chaos. But I know in my heart, Weibo's making a comeback. They're reprioritizing. They're doing what they needed to do. Julian, I want to say right now, is MVP in this game right now for Weibo, making these absurd hook plays, making Naomi proud of Falcon.
Proud, but speaking of proud, take a moment, right, to admire some of these items. Maybe break down what we're seeing here while there's a little lull in the action.
So what I want to say is, I can constantly see Weibo picking up the rotations, making sure that they're going to try to get their macro going in and avoiding team fights. They're going to focus on just getting picks on their back line. That way they can utilize and fighting the rest of the team in a much easier sense. Speaking of, though, Nefarious is also kind of pushing bot lane on their marksman and try to choke on their secondary tower and secure this kill. Can Weibo make it there in time? Nope.
They don't.
But they will capitalize.
They are capitalizing, looking for the trade out. They're looking to take down Eunice. They do find the 1-for-1, but they also lost a tower. Here's Azumi entering into the fight with the Mortal Cold in the background. Look at the knockout strikes from Paquito, but here comes a two-man wild charge, and the taunting well for this point. Retro looks to take the kill. They do find Wall there. Now Azumi again with the Mortal Cold. So much CC providing so much utility in those fights. They're looking to maybe take down Julian here. Good barrier from Rocket People there. A construction, a detour not allowed. And Azumi again with the Mortal Coils for the third time, getting in and getting out. As Nefarious are going to walk away victorious in that trade. They're going to go ahead and start up this Lord at the hands of disappointing Red Tree.
Now, Nefarious right here, they just had a great team fight. Oh my gosh. And Huevo is not letting them back. They definitely wanted to get more of this out of that team fight for this Lord. Can they secure Lord now when their biggest hitter is gone?
Can they indeed? Both teams dancing around the Lord. Here comes a knockout strike from Law on the Paquito, but he didn't.
Perfect.
The earful in the bush, gonna get taken out, and now the heavy crossbow is dropped. He's gonna find personal girl, turning him into his personal target practice. His Master of Bees is gonna find Eunice though, trying to jump out of the river, but he's dangerously low. Can he escape? There goes the Bloody Hunts to try to save him. Big Zeus is gonna get stopped on the Grok, but hang on here. Here comes the barrier. Caught in between a rock and a hard place, literally. As McConnell's gonna go ahead and take him down. Julian trying to go ahead and lead the disengage, but Law with the two-man knockout strike, gonna find a kill on the mark, but can he find more? Looking for the shield. A barrier's not going to catch him out. And here comes Julian trying to find the iron hooks. Not going to connect, but they do able to even up the score a little bit. And there's Master of the Bees. They could look for more. Can they stop the recall? No! He's going to make it back in time, but disappointing Retry. I don't know if we can say the same. King Julian, iron hook. Not going to miss disappointing Retry with the bob and weave there. A little cha-cha slide. You can't catch me, as he is going to be able to break off on that fight. But hang on here. King Julian might have overstayed his welcome. Get me back in the action, Weezing. We do see him get taken out by Eunice on the Valentina there. That was an overextension by his own actions there. If it isn't the consequences of his own actions, as Huevo making a little bit of mistake, Nefarious is going to punish that, as these teams are pretty even, Manny. But like we said, even. But let's go ahead and take a look at some of these items. Go ahead and break down what we're seeing in between these two teams.
So, all right. So, speaking of the items, I do know that between all that chaos, Irithel has the most gold in this game. And once you notice that, the first thing you gotta ask yourself is Nefarious is gonna wait for a perfect team fight and Irithel's gonna plow through them. Are they gonna get it together and avoid the picks so they can fight around Belleric? Let's see, but they've been playing the farming game and trying to avoid picks since Huevo's been extremely aggressive on making these comebacks with the macro rotations. As we get into a team fight now, you can notice that.
Yeah, there was that pickoff that you were talking about, and now the Bloody Hunt being layered in as well. So they're going to find a second member. No, disappointing Richard is going to be able to get out, led by them. Can still play, and here comes the re-engage from the side of Nefarious. Triple kill going to the hands of Irithel. What went wrong for Huevo? Uh-oh, they've cracked the eggs yet again as they punish them for their own mistakes here. And that's what we said. You can't do that to Nefarious now. 3 members down from the side of Huevo, 4 members up inside Nefarious. They can look to push on this mid inhibitor, maybe look for more, and they might go ahead and do that. They find the inhibitor. Azumi, Mortal Coils, looking to pull out those minions. They have a little bit. They still have the cannon and all the members of Flare coming off from Azumi. They're going to lock in on the tower, looking on the Irithel, looking to take down this Nexus. And yes, they will go ahead and end it here against Huevo. Hard boiled, please, as they take down Huevo in the second match of King of the Hill.
Oh man, I literally just called it as I was just speaking the words that Nefarious is waiting for that perfect team fight and have Irithel plow through from the back once that CC is set. It literally happened, and I'm just watching the amazement as they were able to close it out and crack open Huevo's aggressiveness. They were just, like I said, they were trying to utilize the best they could do with their pick champs and making the best picks possible. But once they needed that one team fight and their marksman had the most gold in the game, they were just going to plow right through. And, you know, GG's to both teams, though. They played to both their strengths as best as they could, so no one could say nothing. The gold difference was so minuscule compared to last game. As long as that was, the gold difference was there, but this one had barely any gold difference, so it could have gone either way.
today. And gonna be some insane matches going forward. Nefarious definitely, I will say, they have the macro, they have the micro, they have the synergy, but the question is how can they keep up that momentum? We'll find out here shortly as they are going up against Dark Immortal, so don't go anywhere, ladies and gentlemen. We'll be right back with you guys for the third game.
You can travel the world to find yourself. But that journey must start at home. Because you can't know who you are without remembering your past experiences.
Basic is returning to Asia for his redemption. The BTK trio wants to prove M3 wasn't just a fluke, and Hoon looking to win back his fans.
I got basically kicked, but they still call me traitor for, I don't know, for pursuing my dream.
I thought living that comfort zone and then try new things was a better way for me to pursue the win.
We're coming and we're gonna compete. We're gonna put a fight, that's for sure. I'm coming for you, M4.
This is what we have all been waiting for.
You push us, we push you back. You respect us, we respect you back. You doubt us, we will bleed to prove you wrong.
Everything on the line, right here, right now.
Definitely, they're not underestimating us as much as they did in M3. People probably see us and take us more seriously now, especially considering our accomplishment back then.
I want to be the first in the world. I want to win a world championship. And the only way to really do that is day in and day out. There's no relaxing. You have to keep going.
Here comes the Valley.
It's my time, I'm a ball. I'ma get this money right. I'm gonna live my best life. They been talking to me on me, but you know they'll never win. I'm controlling all my victories, and something has gotta give. Cause this is just what I made it now, made it now. You can't ever break us down, break us down. I'll be reaching for the stars, wanna show me what they not, and I'll never ever stop. Won't never stop, yeah.
Touch the sky, you're a man of simmering gold. Touch the sky, you're the greatest future now. You and I can make it out of the cold. Hang tight, we gonna reach for the greatness. We will always rise, we will never fall. Fighting our hearts and being strong. Even though we know our backs against the wall. Against the and you know that this is.
I've been down, been waiting so long. I'm here for the crown, I'm here to show off. Greatness time, just waiting to show y'all. This
The sky is so vast, isn't it? My little flare.
Papa? Can you reach the sky and ignite the stars?
Of course, Honey Bunch.
Papa never returned home. He's among the stars now. But what about me?
Have faith, little flare.
Now this is a wonder to behold.
Time. Oh. It's time to make the most of the moment. I'm Hoon, I'm mid lane for the Valley, and I'm ready.
I graduated high school a few months ago. Yeah. We dare to be great.
Dude, that's perfect. One more second.
Hello, my name is Fly Chicken. I'm XP lane from the Valley. Let's go.
Hey, it's basic. Again.
That's right. I like that.
We dare.
And action.
We dare to improve. Hey, it's basic. Coordinator for the Valley. Let's go.
You say hi. Hi.
3 wasn't good enough.
There you go. One more time.
3 wasn't good enough.
One more time. You got a better one again.
Hi, I'm Chuck. I'm like son for the Valley. Let's go.
You see my chapped lips on the camera? Like here a little bit? Don't disrespect the US of A. One more. Hi, I'm Boba Zane, Jungle for the Valley, and we're ready.
I want to fight Yahweh from the Eagle team for Philippines.
Definitely RQ. They've done so much for Mobile Legends, and you could tell just by the amount of fans that they have. They've also been so driven. I mean, they've been in Mobile Legends for years and years and years, and they've always been pretty good. They've always, even when they weren't doing as well, even in this MPL, they bounced back in the second half of the season. And I have a lot of respect for them. They've brought a lot for Mobile Legends. And in the Philippines, it probably Blacklist, because they're actually the first team that, even after winning a World Cup, they just stayed driven, stayed focused, and now they're on their way to having a chance of getting their second World Cup win.
You can travel the world to find yourself. But that journey must start at home.
Valley are going to M4!
Because you can't know who you are without remembering your past experiences.
Basic is returning to Asia for his redemption. The BTK trio wants to prove M3 wasn't just a fluke, and Hoon looking to win back his fans.
I got basically kicked, but they still call me traitor for, I don't know, for pursuing my dream.
I thought living that comfort zone and then try new things was a better way for me to pursue the win.
We're coming and we're gonna compete. We're gonna put a fight, that's for sure. I'm coming for you, M4.
This is what we have all been waiting for.
You push us, we push you back. You respect us, we respect you back. You doubt us, we will bleed to prove you wrong.
Everything on the line right here, right now.
Definitely, they're not underestimating us as much as they did in M3. People probably see us and take us more seriously now, especially considering our accomplishment back then.
I want to be the first in the world. I want to win a world championship. And the only way to really do that is day in and day out. There's no relaxing. You have to keep going.
Here comes the Valley.
It's my time, I'm a ball. I'ma get this money right. I'm gonna live my best life. They been talking, tell me on me, but you know they'll never win. I'm controlling all my victories, and something that's gotta give. Cause this is just what I made it now, made it now. You can't ever break us down, break us down. I'll be speechless for the stars. Promise I'll be what they not, and I'll never ever stop. Won't ever stop, yeah.
Touch the sky, you're a man of saving God. Touch the sky, you're the greatest, don't you know? You and I can make it out of the cold. Hang tight, we gonna reach for the greatness.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Land of the Dawn. We are the Mobile Legends Scrim Academy. Man, oh man, have we seen some games today. Number one, we've seen a record be broken with a 29-minute match, and that was Nefarious up against D-Gods, but there can only be one winner, and that was Nefarious progressing on, climbing up that ladder, and then going up against a top 32 team for North America, Huevo. Looks like the side of Nefarious likes their eggs scrambled, as that's what we've seen them do to the side of Huevo for Mama's Eggs. And now, climbing up that ladder again, we have a new team up and ready to take them down. And the question is, who will prevail? I'm super excited to kind of see which way this goes. But before we jump into that, ladies and gentlemen, we are running King of the Hill, and the rules are simple. It is first come, first serve, best of one. Winning team stays on every Monday and Wednesday, 8 p.m. Eastern time. Now, let's jump into these two teams that are currently competing. We have Nefarious, King of the Hill currently with 2 wins under their belt, going up against Dark Immortals. And the question is, who will win this engagement? Dark Immortals, the team from the Immortal Mafia, trying to progress and take out the current king. And we're wondering which way this will progress. Will we see Nefarious take another win under their belt for 3 wins in a row, or will we see Dark Immortals kind of take them down and snatch that crown? I am also joined by Rim in the building today. A little bit of that crazy fan going on. Rim, what's going on?
Hey, y'all, I'm at the airport right now. I'm sorry, y'all.
How you doing today, big dog? Gonna be handling that on-point analysis.
Absolutely. I'm doing great. I'm very excited to look at this match that we're about to witness here. Nefarious, a team that's been on fire tonight. And speaking of fire, Dark Immortals has been blazing ever since they had their roster revamp, and it's definitely starting to show. Speaking of things starting to show here, looking at the draft, right? Eunice on this Xavier, I have to shout her out. She's been on fire tonight in the mid lane. Speaking of things that's also been on fire, Azumi on top with that Martis, possibly going into that EXP lane. And we all know, right? He's one of those EXP laners that's very versatile with their gameplays and rotation. Speaking of versatility, disappointing Retry locking in that Carmella jungle, going back to, you know, one of those standard bans that we've been seeing here in North America and the Academy. We have seen him on the jungle Esmeralda, the jungle what was it last game? I can't remember, but you know, one of those tanks, right? The Belleric. And he's locking into that standard, you know, more focused, the things that we're accustomed to seeing. Speaking of things being accustomed to seeing Rakbamba on this Haja, definitely going to have that pick-off potential, especially against the Southern Nefarious here. We do see, again, you need some of this Xavier, very immobile, doesn't have any dashes or escapes. All he has to depend on is that sprint to get away. So if he's caught by that Divine Judgment, the Aluminum Blast, or Jay on this Yuuzhan, it's definitely going to speak trouble. But speaking of trouble, though, which draft do you think is going to wreak more havoc going into the Land of Dawn here, BZ?
Well, I'll tell you what, I'm definitely a fan of Izumi over there, Master XP laner, and we're running my favorite hero with the 3,000 worlds, that Martis, that anti-CC with the Mortal Coils. There's a lot to deal with in that decimation to top it off, to kind of close out on those enemies with that prowl going on those low HP enemies. But looking at the draft so far, I'm definitely giving it to the side of Nefarious for a couple of reasons, right? They have Martis, really excellent XP laner into the hands of Izumi. They have Xavier. They have the CC at their disposal, the Dawning Light to get that snipe across the map. But there's a couple reasons why this works really well in their favor, right? Xavier has the capability to stop Lolita in her tracks to cancel out that Numenon blast. I'm kind of scratching my head right now with that being a pickup. But in sense for that, it does kind of make sense a little bit. Eunice, when you do rush in trying to get that Dawning Light, it can be negated by the shield that Ipos provides with that Numenon blast, but also able to negate the basic attacks from Michael on this Melissa. So it makes sense, but the question is, how effective is it going to be? You have Big Zeus. He has those walls in his favor as well to be able to cancel out that Numenon blast as well. You have Carmilla with the Curse of Blood to cancel it out. And to top it off, you have Mortal Coils by Izumi. So I think it's an upscale battle right now with what Ipos has to do to kind of pull off these ultimates. So definitely leaning into the favor of Nefarious. But let's not count out the side of Dark Immortals, right? They have Sensei Yi running not only one of the best marksmen for the MLSA so far, but one of the best skins out, as you are seeing that M4 Beatrix in effect. And the question is, how well will this go? This is a Beatrix going up against a Melissa. Melissa that gives that harder time with that muddles to kind of give a little bit of that AoE zonage, and you don't want to step into that zonage. You can be quickly bursted down, and that is what we're seeing right now already in the gold lane.
And speaking of things that we're seeing, I definitely do like that the side of Dark Immortals, they have the early game composition here. They have these pickoffs and these stuns in order to get the job done. And I like what I'm seeing. We see a lot of aggression, though, happening here on the top side.
See a possible fight on the way to bring an order over there by Rakbamba to try and do some damage. This is a 2v3 situation, but Martis getting the job done. He's gonna go ahead and secure level 4 and secure a kill with decimation, but no, he's not done. He's gonna go ahead and take 2. Down goes Jay on this Yuuzhan, and man, oh man, but Yin Yang overturn connecting over there by Kagura. Down goes Martis with over aggression. Down goes Izumi, but you do see a double kill as well as a turnaround as he takes out disappointing Retri with their over aggression. And man, oh man, 2 double kills back to back for both sides to kind of even out the board. But gold into the favor of Nefarious, leading the way right now. And a killing spree activated as you are seeing a backdoor play by Sari. God bless on this Kagura, and that is 3 kills already on fire. But wait a minute, Wild Charge connecting onto the Guardian's barrier. A little bit of stun on Jay. Gonna be forced to use that Black Dragon. Ringo order going in by Kaza. Izumi connecting with the kill to finish off the Black Dragon, jumping on top of it and slicing down the dragon. But you are seeing Big Zeus forced to kind of retreat as he's down to barely any HP. But while this is happening, you are seeing Ipos kind of aggro the Lord, the Turtle. And the question is, who does it code to as Carmilla rushing in with Curse of Blood for a stun? Dawning Light raining through but unable to connect. And you are seeing Turtle go into the hands of Lolita. Numenon Blast going down. Kagura getting a kill, taking down this Carmilla. And man, oh man, these teams are clashing it out. Nice and early, 4-3, only 3 minutes in. And that was Turtle into the hands of Dark Immortals.
And that's the thing, right? When you lock in a mage like Kagura, she's one of those mages. When you look at her and another mage like Lilia, for example, they definitely do have the upper end in terms of these early game rotations and ganks that they can provide. Speaking of ganks here.
Muddles activated, trying to give some range damage into the hands of Melissa right now, forcing the recall out of Beatrix, leaving Rakbamba to defend, but decides to go ahead and clear these minions to kind of even out this goal. But look at the top lane. You are seeing Izumi, that number 1 XP lane for the MLSA, doing his thing, proxy in these lanes, cutting, and being a little bit of a harasser inside of that jungle. Lolita giving Vision to let him know where he's at on the map. But speaking of Vision, Might see McCall in a dangerous situation as a possible set on the way with the Divine Judgment, but Kaja deciding to disengage.
And speaking of disengages, though, I love the aggression coming in from Azumi on top here. He's cutting these lanes and helping his team get some openings. Speaking of openings, the side of Nefarious here definitely locking in some of that early game physical defense, which is what they need, right? The side of Dark Immortals definitely has some physical damage dealers, but I think though they should probably opt in for a little more magic defense to mitigate that passive coming in from Rock Bamba on that Kaja, as well as the damage output that Kagura is already being able to dish out. And that's what you want to see, right? We do know the mages play a very important part in terms of this early to mid game transition. Speaking of transitions though,
To go away, but not enough to stop the Divine Judgment. And Kagura, again, like you were talking about, that mage being that heavy presence for the side of Dark Immortals is going to go ahead and guarantee that kill. Down goes the marksman for the side of Nefarious. And now, man, oh man, we have a wizard on our hands, 5-0 right now, leading the way. But speaking of leading the way, Turtle is in play, down to a quarter HP. Both teams trying to contest it. Dawning Light going through, disappointing Retry taking it with this Carmilla. And that is a Turtle into their hands as they lost the first one, but taking the second one. Guardian's Barrier trying to block them off. Decimation going in by Azumi, getting the kill onto Ipos. Down goes Lolita. Can he get another one? Yes, he does. Azumi taking a double kill, taking down Kaja. But you are seeing Jay clearing off these minions. And man, oh man, Azumi on fire when it comes to rotating, proxying these minions, not having too much of a contest from the team. And that is just the beautiful thing that Martis can provide, those Mortar Coils for the anti-CC. We're not seeing an answer right now for the side of Dark Immortals.
and that's the thing, they don't really have an answer, right? Because even though they have the Yu Zhang to go against him in that top lane, we do know that Azumi, the way that he's cutting these lanes is definitely giving him more room to be free, more room to pop off. Speaking of popping off here, we do see a little tussle happening at the mid lane. Both teams gonna just disengage, you know, just testing the waters, not really committing to anything. And I like the discipline coming from the side of Nefarious. They definitely are keeping up to their momentum. They're making smart choices, right? They've taken the turtles, they're getting these objectives, and they're taking trade-offs. And Azumi on top, 5-1-0 right now, being that kill secure hero. And speaking of secure, able to secure that top lane tower.
And able to secure a kill onto Jay. Man is on fire. Blade of Despair being picked up by Beatrix. Is going ahead and continuing that farm. She realizes she needs to be that late game marksman for the side of Dark Immortals, kind of scaling through time. But speaking of marksmen, Michael in the mid lane is going to go ahead and make God's work of these minions, but not going to be able to push in that tower. Going to have to hurry up and make her way back down to the bottom lane as Sensei Gi, taking advantage of the separation, is going to quickly burst down this tier 3 tower. But wait a minute, Flicker forced out as a means of escaping. A beautiful play from the side of Dark Immortals on Beatrix with Sensei Gi. But wait a minute, a little bit of stun onto Eunice, caught out of position, and you see Kagura, that wizard in play, guaranteeing that kill. Down she goes. Find out over, Namir's passion activated by Sensei, not able to hit any members of Nefarious in that trade. But speaking of trade, Mortar Coils, knock up over there by the wild charge of Brock. Izumi with the decimation gets a double kill, taking out Ipos and taking out Sensei. Now getting a shutdown onto the Kagura. The wizard can guarantee that triple kill. The man is on fire right now, and not 3,000 worlds, but 3,001 worlds today, as they do have no answer for Izumi going into this early game.
That's scary, right? Because he's one of those fighters that usually has to scale into the late game. In this early game, he's definitely being one of those menaces to the side of Dark Immortals here. But looking at these items being picked up, we do see Azumi already locking in 3 core items. So he's definitely well off. He's definitely on top of the board right now, especially in terms of gold, right? He's beating out these junglers from both sides. He's definitely wreaking havoc in the land of Dawn here. Speaking of wreaking havoc.
Speaking of Dawn, you see Dawning Light raining down, but unable to get a kill. But wait a minute! You do see Big Zeus getting the kill on Sorry God Bless. Newman on Blast, kind of procking up, unable to get a stun. Big Zeus hit with the Ring of Order over there by Kaja with the Divine Judgment. The suppression pulling in Carmilla, but can they get the kill? Jay trying to go in, rush in with that Yu Zhang, trying to get the Shaw Essence procs, trying to get some Lifestone, secure that kill. You are seeing Martis able to escape, but in that trade, down goes Michael and Azumi falling as well. Rock Bomb getting the kill on to Martis. Both teams clashing it out in the mid-river. 2v3 situation. Advantage going to Dark Immortals. Ring of Order going down, but return back from a Dawning Light. Guardian's Barrier to kind of stop them in their place, but they're able to wrap around it and escape, and both sides disengaging.
Yeah, and you want to put some respect to the side of Darker Mortars, right? I did say originally that I felt like they have a more early game pressure, which they do with the rotations that we've seen from Sari and Rock on this Kaja and Kagura, right? But they do have the Beatrix, which, as you said, is one of those monsters throughout the game in terms of gold laners and what they're able to, the damage that they're able to dish out consistently throughout the match. So they do have that scaling. Speaking of scaling, though, the side of Nefarious, they do have Eunice on this Xavier that's going to be a very hard person to deal with, especially comboed with this Melissa. They have insane poke and zoning potential, as well as disappointing retry on this Carmilla here.
Now, one thing I wanted to point out, right, as they are going for this board, kind of something we harped on in the beginning of these engagements. If you look a little bit at this replay, right, you are going to see a Numenon Blast be procced over there by Lolita to try and guarantee a kill or a possible set, but it was negated, right? It was negated by the Guardian's Barrier over there on this Grok, and this is what we said. That Numenon Blast is definitely a little bit of an upscale battle. So you see it's possibly going to be procced here right now, but want to cut off and troll me. But like I said, you have to be able to hit these sets, and it's an upscale battle to be able to do that. So you need to have better placement by iPulses. When you waste that ultimate, that is no CC into your team's favor for these engagements. Speaking of engagements, though, you are seeing Athena's shield pick up by Azumi to try and negate the Wizard. Sorry, God bless on this Kagura as a full team of Dark Immortals is waiting for a possible pickoff. And the question is, who will prevail? As you see in their full team on the top side, and a 3-man for the side of Nefarious. Need to be careful on their positioning as they are going for this tier 2 turret. Big Zeus giving that vision, providing that front line. You do see the turret on the mid lane for the 2-2 turret, but now they go in for the engagement. The wild charge for the triple knockup. Dawning Light to combo it, and then Michael with the backdoor play is going to go ahead and get 2 kills. Eunice going to kill as well. Double kill into Michael, taking out Lolita, leaving only Jay by himself, and a double kill into Eunice's hands as well. And man, oh man, what a huge play for the side of Nefarious to open up the map and take some more of these towers with no contest.
It's the thing, right? The side of Nefarious, they definitely have so much combo potential. Thanks to the ultimate that disappointing Retro was able to put down before he died, actually enabled that wild charge from Grok to knock these members up in chain, made that CC chain last even longer, as well as the damage shared from that Dawning Light coming out from Eunice there. So it's definitely a great team fight. Speaking of team fight, they are going to back off, but these items are getting back in, and we do see, like I said, Xavier, one of those scaling mages, right? Able to lock in his 3 core items, definitely going to be able to poke more. Speaking of being able to poke more, Melissa locking in 3 core items as well. So they're definitely going to be, their presence is going to be felt. Speaking of presence being felt here.
Possible engagement, Numenon Blast winding up unable to connect, and that is another ultimate missed by iPost, and this is the time for the side of Nefarious to engage. But do they take this fight? There's no inhibitors to defend Dark Immortals right now. You might be seeing a possible early finish into the hands of Nefarious, but deciding to disengage, and I can't knock them. A wise decision indeed. Maybe kind of proxying these lanes, forcing them to come out, not allowing the minions to go back to their base to give them additional gold, starving them out and waiting for a possible split push and a take for this Lord is the plan for the side of Nefarious. But wait a minute. A little push play, a little bit of flick, Divine Judgment can't connect with the suppression. Sorry, God bless, gonna kill onto Eunice. Black Dragon raining over, is gonna go ahead and drop down, but Izumi hits him with the decimation, gets a double kill, takes out Lolita, not finished, so getting the triple, takes out Sensei Gi on the Beatrix, and not done. Mortal Coils connecting. Do you see Mikai getting a kill on to Kaja? Sorry, God bless, the Wizard takes down Izumi before he can secure the Maniac, but that is, sorry, God bless, the Wizard for the side of Dark Immortals, forced to fight 3 members of Nefarious. Can they in the game? Look at Melissa, Michael, breaking down this tower, down goes Kagura, 2 disappointing retro on this Carmilla, and down goes the Nexus into the hands of Melissa, and ladies and gentlemen, Nefarious has done it again. They have taken the game.
Absolutely, and that's what you want to see. They're definitely keeping their momentum and their spirit going, and I think, are they trying to give Arcaman some competition here to set a new record? I think they just might, and these results are definitely showcasing that. Azumi on top, like I said, definitely has been on top of his game these past few King of the Hill series here tonight, looking at these statistics, disappointing Archery landing that 95%, very present in terms of getting these sets and these outputs as well. Big Zeus and Azumi on top with that 79% participation, definitely present as well. Even though Eunice doesn't have that much presence, the damage was still there. Despite it being 18%, they were able to help dish out some damage. Speaking of damage though, Sensei on this Beatrix having the full bulk of Dark Immortals' tower push. However, it was still not enough to push through the barriers that Nefarious was able to set tonight.
Yeah, definitely a good game indeed. And Nefarious on the rise. That is 3 wins under their belt. Man, oh man, Dark Immortals, Huevo, and also D-Gods. And the question is, who has what it takes to take the crown off of the Kings of the Hill tonight? I don't know. Maybe they do break a record. Nefarious is one of those teams, their highest was 4 wins in a row, and if they take another win, they will tie that record for what they've previously held. And the question is, can they take more than just that? Don't go anywhere, as we have more teams competing inside of King of the Hill. What is King of the Hill, you ask? Well, the rules are simple. It is first come, first serve. Best of 1 winning team stays on every Monday and Wednesday from 8 p.m. Eastern time until the last team stands. And man, oh man, speaking of standings, we have another team on the way. A challenger from the Wild Wild West, Ohana Esports, is going to try and take down the current Kings of the Hill, Nefarious. So don't go anywhere. Go ahead and stretch a little bit and talk about these games. Maybe vote on which team you think wins the next match. Do we see Nefarious winning a Game 4 to tie their record and possibly go on to a Game 5? Or will we see Ohana Esports stop them from climbing up that ladder? See you guys shortly for Game 4.
You can travel the world to find yourself. But that journey must start at home.
Now we are going to M4!
Because you can't know who you are without remembering your past experiences.
Basic is returning to Asia for his redemption. The BTK trio wants to prove M3 wasn't just a fluke, and Hoon looking to win back his fans.
I got basically kicked, but they still call me traitor for, I don't know, for pursuing my dream.
I thought living that comfort zone and then try new things was a better way for me to pursue the win.
We're coming and we're gonna compete. We're gonna put a fight, that's for sure. I'm coming for you, M4.
This is what we have all been waiting for.
You push us, we push you back. You respect us, we respect you back. You doubt us, we will bleed to prove you wrong.
Everything on the line, right here, right now.
Definitely, they're not underestimating us as much as they did in M3. People probably see us and take us more seriously now, especially considering our accomplishment back then.
I want to be the first in the world. I want to win a world championship. And the only way to really do that is day in and day out. There's no relaxing. You have to keep going.
Here comes the valley.
It's my time, I'm a ball. I'ma get this money right. I'm gonna live my best life. They been talking to me on me. You know they'll never win. I'm controlling all my victories. And something that's gotta give. Cause this shit just what I made it now. Made it now. You can't ever break us down. Break us down. I'll be reaching for the stars. Promise I'll be what they not. And I'll never
you now. You and I can make it out of the crowd. Hang tight, we gonna reach for the greatness. We will always rise, we will never fall. Fight it out, always around me are strong. Even though we know our backs against the wall. Can you take your hand? You know that this is.
I've been down, been waiting so long. I'm here for the crown, I'm here to show off. Greatness time, just waiting to show y'all. This is your time to remember.
So many times I lie in the basement waiting for greatness. No, I won't listen to anyone hating on me and telling me I wouldn't make it. Cause I did everything that they said I couldn't. Caught my footing and I cut the controls. I stand for something, I ain't running now. I'm the greatest now. I just wanna make it proud. Don't let me down, don't let it all fall. I've been on the road, accomplished all of my goals, and I ain't gonna let you down.
Don't just go. You're a man of silver and gold. Don't just go. You're the greatest, don't you know? You and I, we can make it out of the cold. Hang tight, we gonna reach for the greatness. We will always rise, we will never fall. Fight it out, always around me are strong. Even though we know our backs against the wall. And again, pick your aim, you know that this is
Coming for the game, cause we ready for the victory.
The sky is so vast, isn't it? My little flare.
Papa? Can you reach the sky and ignite the stars?
Of course, honey bunch.